Corpsmen from 3rd Medical Battalion underwent a field training exercise from April 28th to May 1st outside Camp Hansen. The objective behind the exercise was to introduce corpsmen to basic Marine combat training as well as field medical care.
So what we're doing is going over patrolling, immediate action drills while on a patrol, whether it's dealing with contact from the enemy, IEDs, or if they receive casualties. And we also did military operations in urban terrain, so that way they can apply the same skills in a mountain environment as well.
After a long hiatus from the field, 3rd Medical Battalion's corpsmen began their patrol. During the movement toward their rally point at Combat Town, the corpsmen maintained a combat mindset to look out for IEDs and possible ambush sites.
Once they come down here, they're going to receive contact in which they have trained up to in immediate action drills, so that way they can keep that combat mindset, knowing that it could happen at any time and how they can deal with it.
Upon reaching the town, the corpsmen set up their perimeter of security and devised a plan of attack for the upcoming assault.
I think it builds character. It kind of brings them out of their element, and that's when you really find out who somebody is and how they react in certain situations, and this is putting them in a situation where I would hate for them being deployed would be the first time they would be in that situation, because then they would be miserable and they wouldn't get it. At least here they're given that opportunity. They've been exposed.
During the simulated attack, the corpsmen provided field medical care to those who were wounded. Once the town had been secured, the corpsmen called in for a medical evacuation for any casualties.
So at this point with their training, we're not so much instructing. Now we're kind of taking a step back that they're out here in the field, and we're evaluating and we're observing how they operate inside an STP, a shock trauma platoon. So as a role 2, they're not running and gunning anymore. They're receiving patients from the front lines. And then from there, they're divvying out where do they go next. Do they go to a hospital? Do we need them to go to our surgery tent? Where to go next? That's our purpose here, is to teach them the next higher echelon of medical care.
The casualties were taken to the Forward Resuscitative Surgical System and Shock Trauma Platoon. These serve as a mobile hospital and are the military's highest echelon of medical care available closest to the front line.
There's one entry point, so they would come to the front, they would be searched by the Marines, they'll be triaged for where they're going to go within the system. They would start in the ER in most cases. If it's bad enough and the OR is available, they would go straight to the operating room. Sometimes if they don't need a lot of care and they're what we considered walking wounded, they may go to our holding area.
After the conclusion of their field exercise, the corpsmen were evaluated on their proficiency and areas of improvement. Reporting from Central Training Area, Okinawa, Japan, I'm Lance Corporal Wes Lucko.